What's going on there, YouTube? Back again on the number 2 rat rod build. I've got to make a change. I've been trying to put it off. I designed this chassis roughly off of the same size tire that's on the Roadster in the back. And then I got these 1.7 dually wheels and tires from RC 4-wheel drive. And they're a good bit smaller, so my chassis is a little too tall in the back. I was hoping to just roll with it, but after putting the bed sides on, it just looks out of whack. So in this video, I'm going to attempt to cut those off and weld them on in a new position. So fingers crossed. Stripped everything off of it, off the rear. Got all the rear suspension out. I've put my mark on both sides directly at the bottom of that. I think that ½ inch or so is going to make a world of difference on here. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut the top off of the upright post. Then I'll have these pieces off. I can grind them and clean them up and cut the excess off the end. And then we can try to weld it all back together without destroying the rest of the car. Like I said, I can't remove my motor now at this point. It is permanently mounted without removing metal. So I've got my front suspension tied to the front, so it's not going to be flopping around on me too much. And yeah, I think I'm going to use the Dremel if I have any good cutoff disc left. So let me get this all set up and we'll get to cutting. Guys, I got one side on. I've been jacking with the other side for over an hour. The brass I had brazed over the weld originally, and it's just causing all kinds of issues trying to weld it again. Just would not work. So I've ground as much off as I could. It's kind of all boogered up. But the problem I'm having now is I can't, this is a stick welder I'm not that good at. I can't hold this steady and get a good spark to start the weld. So I think I'm going to try to go ahead and mount this side with cross members to the other side. Make sure it's nice and straight. That way it's in place. I don't have to jack with holding it, and then I can use both hands to keep steady with the stick and weld it together. So I'm going to pull out all my suspension rods, see what I've got that'll fit between there and give me the right amount of gap. Bolt it all together, and hopefully we can get this thing knocked out. This video has taken me forever. My welding skills have declined drastically. It's been a while since I've done anything since we made this chassis. Luckily my brazing skills have improved. I got the other side welded finally, just barely. It was still a little loose, so I went ahead and brazed both sides to reinforce it. And now we are nice and strong. I've got a lot of practice. I made my girlfriend a flower out of steel for Christmas, and I brazed it all together. So I got a lot of practice in. I went through a couple tanks of oxygen on that. So my welding skills have really tapered off, though. I really need to upgrade. I'm just using a little $80 stick welder I got at Harbor Freight. I need to get something like my friend K-Peck has. When I went to Colorado and saw him, he's got a little micro TIG welder. And for this kind of precision stuff, I really need a TIG. I think that's the way to go. I've been debating on whether to do a MIG welder. I've done some MIG welding before, but I actually went to school and learned how to stick weld. But I was welding 1/4-inch thick steel plates together. And this I'm trying to weld little 2 millimeter thick stuff together, and it's just, you can't get precise with a welding rod that's 3 millimeter in diameter. So it's tough and a struggle, but I think the bed's going to be in a better spot now. I am going to have to trim the bed sides down, or trim the notch them for the axle to stick through. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that up, and we'll get the bed remounted, and hopefully in the next video we can do some suspension. There it is. We've repaired our past transgressions. This was a battle. Oh my gosh, this video has taken me all afternoon. I was hoping to do 4 videos today, and this is only the second. I've been working my tail off, jacking with the welder. But I like that. I like that the top of the bed follows the body line. The axle sits right on the frame. The bolt on top of the brace, the 4-link mount that goes on the Yoda axle, sits right on there, and this thing just drags perfectly on the ground. I don't know, I didn't measure it. I just got really lucky that my eyeballs are good and I eyeballed it just right. Let me show you a different. It looks a bit more scale to me. It was too high. Now the truss here comes up between the frame rails. Somehow, magically, it's pretty well aligned. It's off just a hair to the right. The left, I mean. You're right. But I still haven't... this is the only brace on the frame other than right at the firewall. So I've still got a lot of bracing to do. But I'm waiting until we get ready to mount the transmission and things like that, so I can see where I need it. Because some of that stuff, like, you know, like a transfer case in the middle of a chassis on a crawler, that acts as a cross member as well, depending on how you mount it. So I'm happy with it. I let my tires stick up over the bed sides just a hair. The bed sides, which I still only have the bolts in the back here, because I'm going to see about mounting the shocks up front, doing a cantilever setup. So I had to notch the bed sides, as you saw, so they clear the axle. Now we got metal on metal when we lay it out. I would like to do a inverted leaf spring up front and a cantilever setup with a little bit of a servo lift in the back. I don't know yet how or if that's going to happen, but right now that's the idea that I have with this build. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, but it's all about how the build plays out. I don't know for sure I can do that. That's just my dream at the moment. Since we are so limited up front as far as what we can do with the servo, I'm not sure yet how to get around the servo horn. It's going to be a lot of intricate brazing because I can't weld that small, if that is to happen that way. I'm not sure yet. I still have these guys, these scale Lesu airbags. They're not actually functional, for everybody that's asking. They're just an internal spring, and they look really cool. I don't know if I'm going to use them on this build. I just picked up some because they were available, and I thought they were pretty neat. But let me get you a better shot at the side here before you go. You can see how much the bed moved down. Much better look in my opinion. But anyways, thanks for bearing with me. It's been a tough video. So next step I think will be the rear suspension. Start jacking with that, seeing what we can come up with. I've got to do some more research into the servo lift. I don't have a proper multi-channel radio right now, so If that is something that we pursue, I will have to get a 4+ channel radio so I can have some independent control of that option. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video.